Have you ever noticed that, for some people, a cup of coffee isn't complete without a cigarette? It's a classic pairing, almost like a ritual. You see it at cafes, on work breaks, everywhere. But have you ever wondered why? Why do coffee and cigarettes go together so perfectly for so many people? Is it just a habit, or is there something deeper, something psychological, even biological, going on? Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating psychology behind this powerful duo. We'll explore the science, the habit, and the emotional triggers that link that morning brew with that first smoke of the day. And trust me, the answer is a lot more complex and interesting than you might think. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll look at this common habit in a completely new light. So, let's start with the brain. Both coffee and cigarettes are powerful stimulants, and they have a fascinating interaction inside our heads. The main star in coffee is, of course, caffeine. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine receptors in our brain. Adenosine is a neurotransmitter that makes us feel sleepy and relaxed. When caffeine blocks it, we feel more alert, focused, and awake. That's why we reach for coffee in the morning or during a midday slump. Now, let's bring nicotine from cigarettes into the picture. Nicotine is a bit of a master manipulator in the brain. It stimulates the release of several neurotransmitters, but the most famous one is dopamine. Dopamine is the feel-good chemical. It's associated with pleasure, reward, and motivation. When you smoke, you get a quick hit of dopamine, which feels rewarding and reinforces the behavior. Here's where it gets really interesting. When you combine caffeine and nicotine, they don't just add to each other. They multiply their effects. It's a concept known as a synergistic effect. Think of it like a band. Caffeine is the drummer, setting a fast, alert tempo. Nicotine is the lead guitarist, playing a powerful, play-assurable solo. Together, they create a much more intense and satisfying experience than either could alone. Research has shown that nicotine can actually enhance the rewarding effects of other stimulants. So, the caffeine makes you alert, and the nicotine makes that alertness feel incredibly good. This creates a powerful biochemical loop. Your brain starts to associate the alertness from coffee with the pleasure from nicotine. The coffee wakes you up, and the cigarette makes that feeling of being awake even better. But wait, there's another layer to this. It's not just about feeling good. It's also about managing the side effects. Have you ever had too much coffee and felt jittery, anxious, or shaky? That's a common side effect of caffeine. Well, nicotine can paradoxically have a calming effect for smokers. While it's a stimulant, many smokers report that it helps them manage stress and anxiety. So, when the caffeine from your coffee starts making you feel a bit on edge, the nicotine from a cigarette can seem to level you out, taking the edge off the jitters while maintaining the focus. It creates this perfect storm scenario where each substance seems to solve a problem created by the other, making you feel perfectly balanced, alert, but calm, focused, but relaxed. This intricate dance in your brain chemistry makes it incredibly difficult to have one without craving the other. Now, let's move beyond the brain and talk about something just as powerful: habits and rituals. Humans are creatures of habit. Our brains love routines because they're efficient. They save mental energy. When you do something over and over again, like having a cigarette with your morning coffee, your brain creates a strong neural pathway. This is called conditioned behavior, a concept made famous by Pavlov and his dogs. In this case, the coffee becomes the bell. The smell of brewing coffee, the warmth of the mug in your hands, the first sipple, these become powerful triggers or cues that signal to your brain it's time for a cigarette. Your brain anticipates the dopamine reward that follows, and the craving becomes almost automatic, almost unconscious. This isn't just a mental thing. It's a full-body experience. Think about the entire ritual. It's often done at the same time every day, usually in the morning. It marks the start of the day, a moment of peace before the chaos begins. It's a personal timeout. You step outside, take a deep breath, and for those 5 to 10 minutes, the world kind of fades away. It's just you, your coffee, and your cigarette. This ritual provides a sense of structure, control, and predictability in a world that is often chaotic and unpredictable. It's a moment of mindfulness, in a way. The act of lighting the cigarette, the inhale, the exhale, it's a rhythmic, meditative process for many. Breaking this ritual isn't just about fighting a chemical craving. It's about disrupting a deeply ingrained part of your daily structure and identity. Let's also consider the social and environmental factors. We often pick up habits from the people around us. If you started your first job and all your colleagues went out for a coffee and smoke break together, it's very likely you joined in. It becomes a social lubricant, a way to bond with coworkers, a reason to step away from your desk and chat. These breaks become a mini community, sharing a light, complaining about the bus, talking about weekend plans all over a cup of coffee and a cigarette. The environment itself reinforces the habit. The designated smoking area at work, the balcony at home, the outdoor patio at a cafe. These places become linked to the combined act of drinking coffee and smoking. Just being in that location can trigger the urge for both. It's a powerful combination of personal ritual and social belonging, all wrapped up in one habit. So, what about the psychological needs this pairing fulfills? For many, this ritual is a form of self-medication for stress and anxiety. Life is stressful. Deadlines, bills, relationships, it can all be overwhelming. The coffee-cigarette combination offers a reliable, on-demand tool for managing these feelings. The caffeine provides the mental horsepower to tackle the day's challenges, while the nicotine provides a momentary escape, a feeling of calm and control. It's a coping mechanism. When you feel overwhelmed, this ritual is a predictable way to hit the pause button and recalibrate. It's a moment to gather your thoughts, take a breath literally, and feel like you're back in the driver's seat, even if it's just for a few minutes. This is why the craving can be so much stronger during stressful periods. There's also an element of identity. For some, being a coffee and cigarettes person is part of who they are. It can be tied to an image of being creative, intellectual, or even a bit rebellious. Think of the classic image of the writer hunched over a typewriter with a black coffee and a smoldering cigarette. This archetype, romanticized in movies and books, can be very appealing. The ritual becomes a way to express a part of your personality, to connect with a certain subculture or ideal. It's not just a habit. It's a statement. It says, I'm a person who needs my ritual to think, to create, to function. This makes it even harder to quit, because it feels like you're giving up a piece of your identity. So, we've seen the powerful combination of brain chemistry, learned behavior, and psychological needs. This trio creates an incredibly strong bond between coffee and smoking. But here's the crucial part. Understanding why this habit is so powerful is the first step toward changing it. Awareness is key. If you're someone who wants to break this cycle, it's not just about willpower. It's about deconstructing the habit. It means finding new ways to get that alert feeling, new rituals to start your day, and healthier coping mechanisms for stress. For example, you could try replacing the cigarette with a 5-minute walk outside, a deep breathing exercise, or listening to an upbeat song. The goal is to find a new, healthier ritual to pair with your coffee. It's important to remember that smoking has serious health consequences, and mixing it with caffeine doesn't change that. If you are struggling with quitting, please know that you're not alone and help is available. There are so many resources out there, from quit lines and support groups to therapies and medical treatments. Talking to a doctor or a mental health professional can provide you with a personalized plan that addresses both the chemical addiction and the psychological habits. They can help you find new strategies to manage stress and create new, positive rituals in your life. Reaching out is a sign of strength, not weakness. The link between coffee and cigarettes is a perfect example of how our biology, our psychology, and our environment can conspire to create a habit that is incredibly difficult to break. It's a chemical dance in the brain, a comforting daily ritual, and a deep-seated coping mechanism all rolled into one. By understanding these different layers, we can approach the issue with more empathy and effectiveness, whether for ourselves or for someone we care about. It's not about judging. It's about understanding the complex human experience behind a simple cup of coffee and a cigarette. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this exploration interesting, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dives into the psychology of our daily lives. Stay curious and see you in the next one.